Hey everyone, it's time for a music update. I have two things to share. Some vinyl VCLT from Andrea in Italy. Last year, Andrea sent me a wonderful package, including Alpha Taurus, and he kept saying and he wanted to send me more, and it came yesterday, so I'll share that. Thank you so much, Andrea. Also, I went to a record fair on Sunday here in Omaha. Had to keep my spending down, but I did find a few things. I want to share those with you. I've been up for a few minutes, but I'm going through a sleep adjustment that I tend to go through during the fall. So, okay, wake up, Dereck. All right. Let's talk music. Did not organize. I used to organize. Okay. I'll focus first on what Andrea sent me. Andrea Della Piana. I like that name. And I hope that we can meet sometime, Andrea. I get a sense of you, but I can tell that it would be good to meet you. I think there's some cultural differences that would be neat to not explore, but to talk about and meet in person. I've only been to Europe once, but what I found what I loved about Europe was how I got along mostly with people over there as I got the flavor of how they did things. I felt like I assimilated really well. I do it. I feel like everyone is my brother and sister, even the ones that annoy the shit out of me, like real life. Anyway, Andrea sent me Daedalus. I've had this on Burn CD forever. This is an Italian fusion band. Sometime in the 70s, I think is when this came out. I'm gonna have to put my glasses on and off. I've known of this album forever. Never saw a real copy until this one. Thank you, Andrea. And it's got that Mahavishnu flavor. This is a 180 gram reissue. Just thank you so much. I've been able to listen to the music forever, but again, dropping the needle is just something real special, and I really appreciate this. Daedalus. He sent me some records I already had, but I'm keeping them because they're different versions. Okay. I'm a big Genesis fan. Andrea knows it, so he sent me Wind and Wuthering, and I'm keeping it because it's an Italian pressing. Made in Italy. No, it's not a textured cover like the UK versions, but it's the Charisma label. Let me see. I forget if it's a big or a small hat. I think it's a big one. Yeah, it's a big head. That's my favorite label design. I'm not exactly sure why. It's got something to do with the Alice in Wonderland effect on my mind. It must, from childhood. That Mad Hatter and that rabbit. It's just, I don't know. It's just something about it. He also sent me another copy. It's another copy of Nude by Camel. People say they don't really think much of this album, but I think that it's an excellent Camel album. I think it's because it's so nice and kind of twee sounding at first. This is nice. This is a Japanese insert. So this is interesting. Now let me look closer at this now. Because I looked at this and I thought, okay, probably an Italian pressing. And this is a German pressing with a Japanese insert. Well, thank you, Andrea. You know I love this stuff. I love it. Thank you. I love this album. Nude. Landscapes from here is just a beautiful little ditty. Thank you, Andrea. Now, he sent me a new album, which I love. I love hearing new stuff. And I probably wouldn't have heard these guys if it weren't for you, Andrea. Verdana with Wow. And Wow is a good term for this. This came out in 2011. Looks like it's a fairly known band in Italy. And a young band. And they sound a lot like the band Mew from Denmark to me. Which to me is a big thumbs up. I love Mew. What I like about this band, that what I've heard so far, I haven't heard it all, is the songwriting is not typical. I haven't caught the words. I can't even remember if they're in, it looks like they're in Italian. Like I said, the words just aren't that important at first. It's the musical picture. And the musical picture of this right away, I like it. It's fresh. You're not immediately thinking, oh, it sounds like, except it's so fresh that it made me think of Mew. But it doesn't sound like rock and roll or the Beatles. I like it when people try to have their own sound. I don't think they're trying to sound like Mew. It's that what I like about Mew is the way that they try to take songs and make unusual turns melodically. And these guys are doing the same thing. I love that. Thank you so much, Andrea. I think that's what you sent me. I'm just going to start going through this pile and showing what's here, which includes records I bought at the record fair and some other things I've been playing. And I'll just show everything in the pile here that I haven't shown. I shared that I was goofing on the guitar yesterday, which is my way of practicing. Yeah, that was just me goofing. Yeah, that was me. I'd lay down a track of some chords and I played on top of it, just goofing. Thank you, folks. I like to share it every now and then. You know, playing the guitar is very, very relaxing, very satisfying. I enjoy it very much. I like heavy music when it comes to playing guitar, and so I love playing along with Opeth. And so last night I pulled out Watershed and played along with most of the album. I really like figuring out the riffs. Michael Ackerfeld writes some killer riffs, so I played almost all of this last night and listened to several songs several times. You know, Hex something, can't remember the names. I had this out last night because I love it so much. Hadn't played in a while. Wigwam, Lucky Golden Stripes and Star Pose. Just really, really good songs. And a neat sound. Neat sound. Speaking of sound, that's what I'm listening to in the background. I don't have the CD, just have a digital Ryuichi Sakamoto and Alva Noto. So let's get into the record. Couple cool things I found at the record show. I couldn't spend a lot. If I'd had money, I could have spent. There were some dealers that had some cool things. But one of the dealers is an old dealer friend, and years ago he bought a bunch of stuff for me. And today I got another one of my old albums back from him, and that's Goblin, Profondo Rosso. Matter of fact, when we realized that it was, yeah, that's yours, Dereck. I bought that from you. I just gave him the biggest hug. It's still in the same shape it was when I sold it to him. It's near perfect, and this is a Cinevox original issue, Italian. So this was just a wonderful feeling to get another one of my old records back. It's in great shape. Goblin. I didn't think for a minute that Andrea was looking for a Goblin to send to me, but I got my old one back. Profondo Rosso. I bought this, I guess it's a boot, but I'm really glad I bought it because I don't have any T2, and I've been wanting either of their albums forever. And this is a boot from an acetate, which you can hear. but it's really good. This band should have been much bigger. At times they remind me of King Crimson, even though it's 3 people. And the sound quality on this is fair, but the songs, I'm really, really happy with this. Kind of like the band High Tide. This is another band that comes to mind. Those bands come to mind as to, I'm just scratch my head as to why those bands weren't huge. Because they were huge, musically. T2. Score. I've been wanting one of their records forever. I have an 8-track. The 8-track is in the garage. It's very likely that the 8-track is probably destroyed now because I just have, I'm not a pack rat, but I just have stuff. And who knows what kind of shape those 8-tracks are in now, if I can even find them amongst the stuff. T2. I had to buy several things low price, so one of my low price finds, $5, great find, Carla Bley Sextet. This is really nice. This is one of her more easy to listen to albums. I also love seeing people that I know on the album. Victor Lewis, who's from Omaha. Don Elias, who played with Miles Davis, but he was also friends with my older brother and another friend of his. It was funny, several years ago, Don Elias was in town with Chuck Mangione, and they were playing at like a summer concert. And I just happened to be wandering near the stage, and Don Elias is playing. He keeps looking at me. He thought he recognized me, but he thought I was my brother. So that was a neat moment. You know, I waved, and I could see that he's looking. And I think I might have mouthed, "I'm his brother," you know. He recognized me. It was I love shit like that. Those little rock and roll memories are the things that I have been living for. And sharing them is important too, just to be able to tell you, hey, this happened. Here's an album I remember from the 60s that I've always wanted to hear, but it was always priced more than I wanted to pay. I took some of my records to the record fair, and I sold some, and I did some trading. I traded for this. Group Therapy, 37 minutes of. This is rock and soul. 1967, I think, is when this came out. I looked this up, and these guys all have background in music. They all were players. The main guy, Ray Kennedy, played with Wilson Pickett, among others. And it really shows. This album is really fiery. It's got rock and soul elements. Vanilla Fudge comes to mind, but they don't sound like Vanilla Fudge, but really intense like that. Really glad I finally got this. Group Therapy. Novalis. I love this band. Novalis. Don't know that I can say this. Verschmetterling Lakenort. I like this band a lot. On Brain, not Green, but Brain. I like the label Brain a lot. This is a reissue, but I've been wanting it. Now it was a disappointment, to be honest. I have the music, but I hadn't listened to this in a while. But when I saw it, I said, "Oh, I gotta get it." Agua Turbia, I believe from Chile, I believe. Now this is really bluesy. It's psychedelic, but it's really on the bluesy side, which just, you know how I feel, you know. But I really have been wanting Agua Turbia, so I paid more for this than the T2. The T2 turns out to be much more satisfying, but I'm really glad to have this. Agua Turbia, Volume 2. Reissue, they did a real nice job. Even doing the original label. I haven't played side 2, so side 2 might be a little more wild than side 1. Another $5 find. I've had a few copies of this, but I was needing another one. Buddy Miles Express, Expressway to Your Skull. I've told the story, I'll tell it again because it's a wonderful memory of mine. One of Buddy's first cousins, I'll say his name, John Pennington. I don't know if John is still alive or not. I haven't seen John in ages. John Pennington was, boy, there's so much to tell. But when my family moved to the north side of Omaha, John Pennington was one of the first kids to befriend me. Turns out he was Buddy Miles' cousin, and we vibed on music. Anyway, when Buddy would make records, he'd send them to the family. And Buddy's family got a copy of this before it was released. Now, I'll say it again. They were embarrassed by this. They didn't get it because, they were proud of Buddy's Chitlin Circuit days, playing with Wilson Pickett and all those people. Regular folks liking the music that we love. But me being anomalous and weird and crazy, this was rock and weird, and Jimi Hendrix was involved, and I was fascinated by it and would just beg them to play it for me every time I came over. And that's the only time they would play it is when I'd come over. I can still remember John's mom making faces when this would start, because she didn't understand. I just love sharing that story. So I was really happy to find this. The album's in great shape. Another $5 find. I was saying $5? Must be something wrong with the record. The record plays perfect. Flying Saucer Attack. New Lands. I've known about this band. I have stuff on CD, but never had any records. So really nice to get this. And I like it. It's good. Somewhere between shoegaze and grungy psychedelia. Flying Saucer Attack. Another $5 find. I thought I had this, but I didn't. A little while ago, John Coltrane 68 asked me to show some, and I went to look, and I said, oh shit, I don't have it. So here it is, Teruo Nakamura. Manhattan Special. Japanese funk, kind of on the, to me, it's a little on the, really good musicians, but this could be like a little coffee table-ish for me, which is why, I wasn't really big into buying this stuff at the time. I like it a little more weird. I still do. John McRae is a VC member who's mostly online on Facebook, and his prog collection is mind-blowing. This was in the $5 section. I looked at it, I looked at the back, and I said, I know that this is going to be cheesy, but I like this cover. I was thinking of John, and I said, I'm going to buy this kind of in the spirit of John McRae. And the band is called, it's Ken Tobias with Siren Spell. That's a nice cover. It's a nice cover, but look at the back. Cheese. That gives it away right there. It's cheesy. Look at that. And sure enough, I've only played like 3 or 4 songs, and it's like, It's like, why didn't you make some tasty music to go along with this tasty cover? Just my opinion. But I'm glad I bought it. There may be some more records that I bought. I don't know. I'm just going to show what else is sitting here. Talking about music online with people, stuff that I'm playing, whatever's sitting out for whatever reason. These are sitting out. We were talking about ringware in the Facebook group. So I took a picture of my old Future Days can. I've recently upgraded an original copy that's in mint condition, but this is my original copy, which I played for anyone I could get to listen to it. And I just took it with me everywhere, which is the ringware. This album just blew me away when it came out. Here's one I got from a radio station in 1970. As you can see, I've got my name on it several times. It's a sentimental favorite, Some Pair. I've just hung on to this. It's somewhere between country, rock, and psych. And it's just got a lot of great songs on it, so I've managed to hang on to it. And you can see it's well loved. Let's play in this. Eckhart Eller's Mards. It's a single. One from the Heart. He's one of those folks who is, some people are master manipulators of the sample and of loops, and Eckhart Ehlers is one of them. There are many, but he's one whose flavor, the types of loops, a lot of classical and vaguely familiar stuff from the past that he uses and just recontextualize in a really beautiful way. Marz, M-A-R-Z. Let's see what else I have that I haven't shown. Here's one that I think I missed showing from the new record store. I got a couple of World Saxophone Quartet albums. I don't know if I showed this one. World Saxophone Quartet is amazing. David Murray, Hamiet Blewett, Arthur Blythe, Julius Hemphill. Good Lord. Or rather, Oliver Lake, excuse me. Good Lord. This is on Black Saint. I still need to play this one, actually. But the World Saxophone Quartet, super intense, super fantastic. Here's a reissue of an old rock soul excellent album. Barbara and Ernie, Prelude to. And in my honest opinion, I think the only reason why this wasn't bigger, well, I don't know why. When I play it, this is like, wow, this was really good. Barbara and Ernie, Prelude to. Let's see if there's anything else I haven't shown. I'm gonna keep looking here. Oh, people ask questions sometimes, and I don't mean to be rude, just sometimes questions, when I look at comments, it depends on what's going on. If I have a moment and feel like answering, I do. Some questions people ask, when I see them, it's like I just don't feel like answering it, so please don't be offended. But someone asked me which Scorpions version, this is the US version, okay? It's the US pressing. 1979. Someone else asked me, what do I think is the definitive MC5 album? I don't know. I haven't heard all of their albums. Sometimes those questions, they just seem odd. It's like, what? I always do that with people who would, when I look at it's someone who I don't recognize, like, well, this is just odd. Why are they asking me this? Here's an album on the Stiff label that I got for like $25, and I start to get rid of it, and then I keep it. Partially I keep it because it's on my favorite color, but there is one song on here I like, so this was laying out. My Baby, She's on the Street. The Baby, She's on the Street, I like that. I like that song. So, just to kind of just vibe a little bit, and I'm not going to look at the time because I just watched Mr. Fartboy 79's latest video, and he makes some long-ass fucking videos. I'm just not going to worry about it. I have a project today. It's going to be windy today, and I promised this woman, Celeste, this artist that I really like, she made a request, and I just liked it. She said, write a piece about me using the sound of the leaves in the wind. Hell yes! So today is supposed to get windy. It's supposed to be a windy day, so I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to go down to my studio and do some field recording with Celeste in mind. Beautiful black woman. Beautiful black woman. Just looking down here to see if there's anything else that I may have. Well, I had this out. Alpine Stars, Manchester band. This is a remix single, so it doesn't really sound like the band really, but I like this. I like it better than the band. Yeah, I think I've shown everything. And the other things I want to share is, I know I've made a lot of comments on my channel where I've kind of dug myself into a corner by saying, I don't like this and I don't like that, and then I explain myself again, and it keeps coming up with people who, people like to throw stuff in your face, like, did you really know what you were saying? Well, yeah, I know what I was saying, What I mean by that is, one of the things I enjoy doing now is looking for documentaries online about music and musicians. And I watched a couple recently that I just really enjoyed. I really like documentaries. I watched one on Lemmy from Motorhead and Hawkwind. I've seen both Hawkwind with Lemmy, and also I've seen Motorhead. Didn't get to meet him, But I loved that documentary. I'm glad that I'm not a Lemmy. I'm a crazy man like all these crazy people, but I have decided not to act on that craziness, okay? Another one that I watched that was fantastic was a documentary on Johnny Cash. Now, again, some of you folks may be surprised, but that's because, I'll say it again, you just don't understand. I guess you can't really understand just seeing a couple of videos. I got a bunch of videos online. If you watch enough of them, I think that you'll maybe start to understand. The music of the world, including the blues, country music, and gospel, all that is in my DNA. It is a part of me. I have deep respect for it and love for it, actually. I'm really tired of it. That's the point I want. That's what it is. I'm not drawn to it. I'm drawn away from it. Watching the BBC documentary on Johnny Cash was wonderful. I've always loved Johnny Cash ever since I was a little boy. Always recognized that he is a real true rebel, a real rock and roller, a real revolutionary, a real man of the people. And I have a Sun album by Johnny Cash, an original Sun. It's in the closet like a lot of my classic rock. I'm out of room, so they're in the closet. But watching the documentary was fantastic, deep love and respect for Johnny Cash. But I don't want to listen to Johnny Cash. I don't, Another thing I'll explain, and I hope that it doesn't offend anyone because my family might see this. Where I live, this house that I own, I've been living in for 23, 4, 5 years now. I've lost track. The guy that lives next to me and his wife, ever since I moved in, he's my cousin. We just determined that for sure, but Ray's a little bit older than me. But my whole family is musical. Anyway, Ray is a gardener. And the whole time I've lived here, when he works in his garden, he plays music outside, really loud. We live on a half circle, so it's like there's traffic, but it's pretty quiet. Anyway, Ray loves the blues and classic doo-wop and stuff, and so for 20-something plus years, it'll happen, Every day I hear the blues. Every day I hear Junior Walker. Every day I hear ZZ Hill. Every day I hear the deep, rooty music of me, my people, all people. I'm sick to death of it, I am. But do I recognize it? I do. Do I understand why it resonates so deeply with everyone? Yes, I do. But do I still want to continue with my message, which is it's time for something new? Yeah, I do. I really think that I have a message for the world. It's like, I think that we would. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but I'm gonna keep saying it. To me, being stuck in a blues bag is a reflection of what I see with laser clarity, that we can't progress. I mean, truly progress with that as part of our mindset. Now, you can call me crazy, but that's what I see. Been seeing it all my life, and every day I see it stronger. So that's my message. Don't misunderstand me, people. I got mad respect, love, and recognize our roots. But I want to hear something different. I do. And I'm going to keep saying it too. I am. Everybody's always thought it was so cool how people would adopt black music and all that, and how it was more authentic. And I just thought that's just bullshit. I've said it before, because when I do it in reverse, and bring up examples of music of white people, Indian people, all kinds of people, that this is just as deep, just as soulful, and it's like, huh? But people are learning. The world is slowly learning that it's the truth. It's always been the truth. Nothing is more authentic than anything else. I mean, no harm, but I do like to proclaim my point of view. Oh, here's something else that Andrea sent me. I almost missed it. Fantastic, Andrea. Le Orme, Jaco di Bimba. on Philips single. I understand that these are pretty much worthless in Europe. But I'll tell you what, you could send me singles from Europe all day long. Not polkas and stuff, but I just love, I don't know, I just love it. DRAM, the label DRAM. Man, I want DRAM. I wish I could just have all the stuff on DRAM. Again, something about that label, just like it. Online we were talking about the band Armory Show. So I pulled this to show, Armory Show, Glory of Love. This band never made much of a splash, but they were good. Richard Jobson, formerly of the Skids, was the lead singer. John McGeough from Magazine was the guitar player. And Still Nothing. And these are great songs. So I was playing that. What else can I show right quick? That's about it. The VC is a big, wonderful community. Thousands. There's over 1,000 people in the VC. I can never catch up with the videos. I watch a few every now and then. Wonderful people. Just a wonderful thing. Just a wonderful thing. Really not much to say regarding social, because it's like whatever you say, things are going to be the way they are. And apparently it is human nature that once you're on top, you stay on top. And so we just have to play this out. I can see all these wonderful scenarios in my mind about how we could slowly work on making things better for the world, but it ain't gonna happen. So why even waste my breath? Seems like I'm always forgetting something, so I guess I forgot it. I still have records for sale, and just got a lot of love for you all.